Yes, sir. They be a bay, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. Ghana for there are some so I say when tea. Obi be di my tem, but some things need to be said in 10 Kaniwu, let it out to the baskets, contain. Let's start with religion and these big ass churches. Pastors more paid than teachers and nurses. How the preachers they afford these big benches and nobody questions it from the pews and the benches. Hey, education getting poorer at a higher price. Less quality teachers and more strikes. Students know the land, chill for all night. These views might be leftist, but it's alright. Election time, politics by these novices. They empty their wallets and give us empty promises. How can I trust you when you say what you don't do? I vote for you, you work for me, that's the cold truth. Judgment debts, G that reports. I will get into this thing. They be a bay, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day will come, they say the only time parliamentarians they agree is when they talk about raising their own salaries. The only time Kotigo gets bribe from me is February 20 and never. With the Meboa, she has had traffic problems. Oh yeah, so I know they bought why they had to build a mall there. Congestion is vexing, so the horns blare. Lafaye's rampart, all of we this sled. To each his own, me I'm not a saint here. I hope every radio station hears me real clear. It's the moon on the door, so too much loose talk, no fact checking. This be news, more beauty pageants and award shows. Why we have so damn many, only God knows. Nothing ever starts on time. Insanity, we need to step a game up, improve quality. And I came here to murder mediocrity. Sorry, I don't even start here. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, yeah, I've noticed this child lies in showbiz. More hocus pocus, so bogus. More scoundoggery from promoters. This will not make me popular. Charlie, I know this. Ghana wants to be internationally heard, or so I hear. But we cheat and don't treat each other fair. Chris Brown got paid an arm and a leg. Good for him. But you want to pay me peanuts? That's absurd. I know there are levels to make sense. Doesn't help, we making songs that don't make sense. Kindergarten raps and corny punchlines. And most tracks sound so horny most times. On the bright side, we get potential and tennis. We need to work harder, it's essential for the win. We can't think critique, it's taboo or a sin. I wrote this out of love, sincerely yours, M. Vim. More things are fit to talk, but one day go be, They be a bay, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be pepper that bang. One day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come, one day you go be, one day you go be. But when one day go come.
Grandma, shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, mo, yeah, then I befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Go, croco, ya no me charge your ghetto. And Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto. O'Brien, they say, Monsieur Biachalato, Kale, no lie, you be at your yard, you be at your yard. love it hard, yeah. Tell it, no lie, yeah. You be at your hard, yeah. You be at your hard, yeah. Chroma, shit, baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street. Nobody care what we do. Nobody care what we go through. Nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers won't try and find no. Your parents you know be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say another. I've not bet the cocoa. When the my break up bed. Mulinke Mr. John. Yes, see what when the bed is hard, yeah. Tell it, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, love is hard, yeah. Tell it, no be lie, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, be at your hard, yeah. Shit, chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Hey, baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Befa. Chroma, yeah, shit. Baby, I shit. See, can I lock it? Baby, I block it. So, yeah, my baby, more, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Befa.
Savage mix.
Speed, roll it.
Yes, sir. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. Ghana for. There are some so I say Winty. Obi Bedi my tem, but some things need to be said in 10 Kaniwu, let it out of the basket, contain. Let's start with religion and these big ass churches. Pastors more pay than teachers and nurses. How the preachers they afford these big benches and nobody questions it from the pews and the benches. Hey, education get a poor rise, a higher price, less quality teachers and more strikes. Students know the land, trip all night. These views might be leftist, but it's alright. Election time, politics by these novices may empty their wallets and give us empty promises. How can I trust you when you say what you don't do? I vote for you, you work for me, that's the cold truth. Judgment debts, G that reports. I will get into this thing. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. One day you go be, but when one day go come, one day you go be, but when one day will come. They say the only time parliamentarians they agree is when they talk about raising their own salaries. The only time Kotigo gets bribe from me is never 20 and never. With the Meboa. She has had traffic problems, oh yeah. So I know they bought why they had to build a mall there. Congestion is vexing, so the horns blare. La Fire is rampant, all of we is led. To each his own, me I'm not a saint here. I hope every radio station hears me real clear. It's a moon on the door, so too much loose talk, no fact checking. This be news, oh. More beauty pageants and award shows. Why we have so damn many, only God knows. Nothing ever starts on time and sanity. We need to step a game up, improve quality. And I came here to murder mediocrity. Sorry, I don't even start here. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. Debbie, yeah. Nasu Debbie, Peppa da bang. One day you go be, but when one day go come, one day you go be, one day it go be. But when one day it go come, yeah, I've noticed there's child lies in showbiz. More hocus pocus, so bogus. More scoundoggery from promoters. This will not make me popular. Charlie, I know this. Ghana wants to be internationally heard, or so I hear. But we cheat and don't treat each other fair. Chris Brown got paid an arm and a leg. Good for him. But you want to pay me peanuts? That's absurd. I know there are levels to make sense. Doesn't help, we making songs that don't make sense. Kindergarten raps and corny punchlines. And most tracks sound so horny most times. On the bright side, we get potential intense. We need to work harder, it's essential for the win. We can't think critique, it's taboo or a sin. I wrote this out of love, sincerely yours, M. Vim. More things are fit to talk, but one day go be they be a bay, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be by the bang. They be a bay, yeah, they be a bay, yeah. Now so they be by the bang. One day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day go come, one day it go be, one day it go be. But when one day go come.
The youth employment Agency's 2021 job fair is currently underway at the Accra International Conference Center. About 5,000 people are expected to participate in the event. According to the agency, 3,500 job vacancies are to be filled by the end of a two-day job fair. We know that the fair began yesterday, which was characterized by a near stampede with some chaos, and as you can see in your pictures, injuries to some of the prospective job seekers who thronged the Accra International Conference Center. So we'll be bringing you the latest from there. My colleague Alfred Okanse has just been to the Accra International Conference Center. He'll be joining me in studio with the latest from there. And the story is that the Youth Employment Agency is holding a two-day job and career fair aimed at offering opportunities to job seekers. And the first day of the job fair saw several hundreds of young people from the Accra International Conference Center, which resulted in a near stampede. Some other individuals were injured from the incident. Some of the glass wares were shattered as part of that stampede at the International Conference Center. And you should see the sheer number of people who were looking for jobs. That's unemployed young people looking for jobs who thronged the Accra International Conference Center. According to the YEA, this is an opportunity to open up the young individuals to job opportunities numbering up to about 3,500. Today is the second day of the fair. We will be engaging my colleague Alfred Okanse to, understand what has changed between then and now. Whether individuals who from the area have they been able to secure any jobs? Have they had any interactions with prospective employers so far? And what the security situation is? My colleague Alfred Okanse has just returned from the Accra International Conference Center. He's joining me in studio for a conversation. Alfred, thank you for joining me. You are just returning from the International Conference Center. Paint us a picture of what it looks like today.
As a matter of fact, the situation is no different from what you just saw on the television, teaming young people there. And it's just not young people. From what I have gathered, you have other older people, fairly older people as well, who are looking for jobs. A number of them lost their jobs as a result of COVID-19. And so they are also there seeking to be employed. So you have these young people who have been looking for jobs for the last 5-10 years, who are already unemployed, and those who have been rendered unemployed as a result of COVID-19, also adding up to the already exacerbated situation of unemployment there. And so you have, unfortunately, one thing that we found out, which we're going to show to our viewers as well, is the disabled persons as well who have had to be part of the entire process. There's no specific arrangement for them. So now they are struggling for space for some sort of employment with these able persons as well.
Okay.
And that's also posing a serious challenge. We were speaking to the YEA about it, and then also this particular incident that occurred, whether they need enough security in the place to be able to ensure that some of these instances are prevented, because it would have been very short-sighted to say that they weren't expecting a lot of young people. They know the situation of unemployment in this country. So why they not have enough security persons there to be able to ensure some order in the place?
I'll come back to you, Alfred, so you paint us a picture of the kind of conversation you had with those who had strong the area. But let's now listen to the YEA, who have been telling us about this particular job fair, the second day that we're currently witnessing at the International Conference Center.
It's not just going to be in Accra. It's a nationwide project. We're going to be starting with 5 regions. And after we have done this exploration, the youth who are not able to participate should not lose hope. We're going to be moving it to our district levels so that there will be mini job fairs in the course of the year for you to participate in as well. So this is something that is here to stay for youth employment. With the able work of our consultants that we had in collaboration with us, we were able to pull the employers to their teeth to give us 3,000 openings. So yeah, so with the youth bringing in their game, 3,000 jobs should be filled between yesterday and today.
And these are permanent jobs?
These are permanent jobs. And you see, that is the uniqueness of what we're looking to bring. We do have our 2-year jobs, which end up always not being permanent after. So the vision of the chief executive was to come up with creative means that the youth could have permanent jobs in a sustainable way. So by coming here and connecting with the employers, the jobs you get here are not for 2 years or 6 months. They are for permanent. And I mean, if some of them are recruiting for part-time, full-time, we as a youth need to become flexible to these opportunities.
So you had the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the YEA, Lydia Tiemo, speaking. But let me come back to you, Alfred. So once the individuals somehow find their way into the premises of the International Conference Center, what is the procedure they have to follow?
So first off, the entrance, you have the security men, private security, who would take your CV, look at it, and then they give you numbers.
Okay.
Right. So then you proceed to the entrance of the Accra International Conference Center. They also have stationed some security personnel who would now ask you if you're applying to get into either the construction or the oil and gas, banking. Because bear in mind, this is a job fair, according to the YEA, that has both the public and private sector companies exhibiting us or advertising their vacancies at one spot.
Okay.
So there are 2 canopies which you're going to see shortly. You have 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and making sure that they're controlling the crowd because of what happened yesterday. So what they've done now is to increase the amount of tents, the number of tents that they have there, and then making sure they sort it out. There's some sort of sorting process. So there are specific sectors on the right, specific sectors on the left, then they call a specific number of persons in at a particular time. This is just at the periphery. So when you get into the foyer, that's where the companies have set up their various booths. So depending on the sector you're applying to, if it's insurance, if it's banking, then you locate the company in that specific sector. Then you have a YEA employee direct you to this particular, that's the company that you're applying to. Then you show them your CV, you sit down, they go through 5 to 10 minutes interviewing process. Then after the interview, you leave your CV, and obviously they tell you you're gonna hear from them.
Okay. So it's not a guarantee that once you're able to make it into the foyer of the conference center, you are guaranteed a job.
It is not a guarantee.
Okay.
That once you make it into the foyer and you actually meet any of the company's representatives that are conducting the interview, you will be employed. That's the question that I asked of the IEA, that's the YEA, that the 3,000 vacancies that these companies, they say over 100 companies are there now.
Okay.
Are they sure that the 3,000 will be filled? And is it specific to the Greater Accra region alone? And the answer was an emphatic yes. So the 3,000 vacancies declared by these companies will be for the Greater Accra region alone. And they're going to move to all the other 15 regions. The next is the Volta region. That would also have specific number of vacancies declared by the companies that are going to take part in this job fair.
Okay.
So that's the process that they
and for some, the sheer numbers of people we saw yesterday and those who are seeing today paints a picture of the reality of the unemployment situation, not just among the young people, but even, as you say, older people who may have lost their jobs due to COVID.
Absolutely. Come on, it's scary, and to say the least, because what we do know, at least according to statistics from the World Bank, of a little over 110,000 young people graduating from our various tertiary institutions every year, and just about 10% of that number get permanent jobs after serving their national service. So when I was going there, I wasn't expecting anything different, but the numbers we're seeing there at the conference center is just a symptom of the bigger problem of unemployment. I mean, you don't expect that even the young people who are unemployed will all go to the conference center to go and seek employment. Questions have been raised about the sustainability of this particular intervention, because in the end, you will not have companies declaring vacancies every year.
Okay.
So is this just a one-stop shop thing, as against what we used to see with the NYEP, GIDA, YEA itself having some 2-year module of employment, and after 2 years, the people move on. That's where the concern is, how this will be sustained.
Okay.
And the question about how the processes are going to be favorable to persons living with all forms of disabilities. I had a chat with one of them, which,
we're bringing subsequently.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Alfredo Kansei.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Charlie Chalbia. Welcome to the Think Tank Show. As usual, it's been a very, very busy week. I'm in the middle of moving jobs, so things are kind of moving pretty fast for me. And I'm at my home actually, kakra. But we keep on doing this show week after week. This time, I promise I'll make myself available every week. And then very good thanks to my producer Obaya. I didn't get any topics, and we're just gonna talk about number one. We're gonna talk about the Usu Bempa arrest case. We're going to make it very short when it comes to that, because that's not the kind of topics that I like to treat. But because it has to do with the way justice is carried, the way justice is carried about in Ghana, 89% Bosanko, we use that as a sample case. Na in the home kakra. Then I think we should talk about the vaccines and also. I think I heard the news said the USA has donated about 1.2 million vaccines to Ghana. And I think next week, on Baba start to say on Baba immunizing for 1.2 million doses of Moderna. The lucky 1.2 million people more Ghana being vaccines maybe. Up to now, I still don't know what has happened to the Sputnik vaccines. We spent a lot of money on it, yet nothing has come out. But there you go. I think we should have even waited. Because here, because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to do. Let's see, Brian spend it, we could have put it towards something else. And then I think the next one, youth unemployment is going nowhere. I don't know if anybody has a suggestion on how this has to be cured. But there was another very, very curious information there. It was kind of a very positive message, but I'll have to find out where I found that. You know, me found tour because I think state-owned companies and companies are government, own, So companies now government own, I think they brought a report out said they made over 600 and something million and 60 million Ghana cedis profit this year, And we can talk a little bit about that as to how government, because if the private sector is not being able to carry a lot of the burden of the unemployment now, since Ghana, your economy is driven by the country. And for some reason, we found a way to make government-owned, state-owned companies profitable. Maybe we can use that. We can I employ a lot of people. We can try and use those companies. Government. I know most of the capitalists say government getting involved in business, but if there is a way, government are getting involved in business and open companies to help with this unemployment for now. Even if the companies and the government will just own some part of it, not 100% of it. Even if you can own 100% and still make profits. Now I employ a lot of people and make money out of it. Why not? What stops you? Because the government in the area, na sikafri muba, because government itself is not a for-profit entity, we can make sure all the money coming in, all the profits the government is making, will be investing in sectors to provide more jobs. So it's going to be a very well-oiled machine that is not solely for profit, because a capitalist economy like Ghana, a semi-capitalist economy like Ghana, capitalist economy are the owners of companies. If they become greedy, and most of the time they are, if they become very, very greedy, what happens? And they say they don't employ more people, they just make as much money for themselves, and they take on like very, very silly projects like trying to go to the moon and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Akoya Bezos or Bezos ne Virgin guy call space spends millions of dollars to go to space, whilst people are slaving in their warehouses all over the country, spend so many millions to go, hundreds of millions to go to space. But if a company like that is owned by a government or partly owned by a government, and the main aim is just to help solve the unemployment system, I think such a company, try be that, and with all the bones and chroma companies will be say if the visionary leader is out of the way, it goes back to it becomes a problem. But say like I said, and then me I was in Nanenra. I saw, let me say, I think a city. I saw an article like that. Now, they were reporting, like, governor, most of the state-owned companies, they make a lot of profit this year. They made over 600 million or something like that profit this year. such a thing. It can be just. We have to find it because at this point in it, we have to find a way. I said and try and find a way about this thing. This thing has to work. And yes, baby, the amount of YouTubers, slave queens, rappers, and singers, Ghana, no, you'll be crying with your money because everybody's going to turn into one. Everybody's going to turn into a blogger. Everybody's going to turn into one of these things, and just to make ends meet. And I'm in for entrepreneurship, but the government has to put in something. Something has to give. And I think I'm ranting away way too much. And your topic no quite started. So let me see. Let me put the link out there. I'm not trying to share screen. Invite. I'll put a link out there. I'm in Bonyam Kakra, and I my DJ, I'm Bonyam Kakra. I'm sending links to my microphone. Let's see. Remember when the shake Kakra. When the shake. Let me screen your first one. Oh, man, Tianko.
Fox speed, roll it. Shake it. Chromaya shit, baby I shit. Sikana lock it, baby I block it. Suya maya bemumo, yeah, then I befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Go croco, ya no me chadia ghetto, and Ramanda, Tuntun de Diet Moto, or Brian, they say Miss your Biachalato, Chale, no be lie, Bibia Yadia, Ubia Yawadia, Laris Adia, Chale, no be lie, Bibia Yadia, Ubia Yawadia, Chromaya shit, baby I shit, Sikana lock it, baby I block it. Suya maya bemumo, yeah, then I befa, oh, befa, yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street, nobody care what we do, nobody care what we go through, nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers, Montreal and Quino, your parents, be SLY, yes, I'm here. Someone say another. I'm not Betty Coco. Wendy, my break up bed. Mulinke, Mr. John. Yes, you are when you bed. Alice, yeah. Chale, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah. Shit, Ubia, yeah. Shit, Laris, yeah. Chale, no be lie. Shit, Bibia, yeah. Shit, Ubia, yeah. Shit, Chromaya shit. Baby, I shit. Sikana lock it. Baby, I block it.
Yeah, I've put the links out there for anybody who wants to join in the conversation. Now, let's discuss this away. I promise you, I am going to have a more formal discussion. I'm still speaking to people that can come on, resource persons that can come on, that we can have a very, very fruitful discussion. But I think, it's kind of good if we all come out here and discuss things off the rim, now, people can vent a little bit because Charlie, like Wendy can be shit, now, yeah, we're feeling it, if you have an ounce, if you just have an ounce of patriotism in you, you know, say, I don't know, Edding and Kui, and something has to give. It's a BBQ. Yeah. You know, I mean, Chrissy, up one, you know, yeah, try. And Nana Jose, shout out to Hajia. Hajia was the first person to be a shout out to Hajia. And yeah, yeah, that's it. Let me post a few of your things here. Charlie, another I'm turning into a DJ. Yeah. Charlie. Yeah, I think we should start with the job opportunities. Yeah, I mean there was a fair. I mean, and the government made a very positive effort to try and go around the country. Now, on pay again. Welcome, Kweku.
Yeah, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad. How about you?
I'm okay. Yeah, I want to discuss the jobless.
If you have your YouTube or Facebook going on, you can load.
Yeah, let me turn that off. Yeah. So basically, I mean, our problem in Ghana is big. I mean, the biggest problem I see is we don't have a focus. You see, there's no country in this world that does everything. We become like a jack of all trades, and we are master at nothing, and so we don't specialize on anything. Now, if you don't have a focus, you don't even know what you mean. Because the point is, basically, this is how it should work. You choose industries that you think you have a strategic advantage. Now, when you choose those industries, most of the time, it's based on the resources you have, what is closest to you. So, for Ghana, for example, we have land. So, for example, for land and agriculture, since it's closest to us, we can choose to take some products which we think can help us. So, for example, you just choose one product. Let's choose like cassava, or let's choose food in general. Like our problem is that we've not moved from just taking the food and eating it. We've not moved into processing. So what we do is we just have the food, and then half of it rots, and then the rest goes to waste. When you want to process it, because in the process of processing something, you need more labor to process it, and it add value to it, and you can sell it, you can transport it because it has a longer shelf life, so it can be transported abroad or anywhere else.
Exactly.
We don't do any of that, so we lose all that. And basically, the reason why we don't do that is our culture is also on, like, it's more like when something is good, you don't like to improve it. So basically, if you watch somebody who does what do you call it? Give me any Ghanaian food like kakro or inkati cake or
something like that. Yeah.
We've not moved from processing into export it to US so other people in the world can try what inkati cake is. We still sell inkati cake in the market by someone carrying it around, but inkati cake is something you can like package into something like a chocolate.
It's actually
inkati cake in the like Spanish stores no call.
Yeah, but the point is you have to package it nicely and have good labeling, because some people have allergies and all those things. So you can sell it all around the world. If you don't package it nicely, people look at it and like, no, this thing may kill me. It may not be healthy. And then if it doesn't have those labeling, they'll be like, what if I have an allergy? If someone has allergy to peanuts,
Peanuts, yeah.
So we need to move from like having it, just doing it, to improving it to a level where it's international, so we can sell it, even if not to the whites, to the neighboring African countries where we start, because they are closer to us and they will take lesser standards than those very far away from us.
Yeah, than the EU and North America.
You have to start from somewhere. But the point is that, you see, if you don't have that focus, and you don't have that drive, you can't align your education system to this. Because basically, where they start from is that when you're educated and you know the problems in your area. So let's say you know there's Nkati cake, but you know you have to create a machine, because basically Nkati cake, all you need is just a grinder.
Yeah.
All you need is just a grinder to grind, and then you need a nice way of doing packaging. And you just need someone in the lab to know the shelf life, so you know the expiry date of the product. That's basically what you need to do Nkati cake, and then you just give it a nice packaging. Now, if you are not focused, you try to be doing a lot of different things instead of just focusing on doing the main things you want to do. So, for example, like you have the Nkati cake, you have your schooling system will be what do you call it? Pushed towards finding a way to do this crude mechanization, not this complicated mechanization. We are not going to do cars because we are not reached the level yet. We are just doing crude mechanization, like first level mechanization, which the white started doing in the 1920s and 30s. So that the average farmer can process his product. If you are doing sugarcane, you can process it into what do you call it? That brown sugar thing.
Yeah, brown sugar. Yeah, cane sugar.
Yeah, cane sugar. Not
apparently is more healthier.
Exactly. Not the very refined one, but at least it's a start.
The brown one.
Yeah. And it increases.
So Kweku, I think I get where you're going with this. So, but how are we going to start it? Because first of all, I think somebody has tried it before. Nkrumah tried it before.
No, Nkrumah's way was like a very big factory, but we're also not we don't manage things properly. People like to have their small mom and pop shops. So basically, like how the Chinese have small, you see, those crude equipment can be done by one person with manpower. So you can have your own small family firm, which is like 3 people or 4 people, not a big factory by corrupt politicians who will build a factory and bring some other people, and they don't even know how to manage it because they don't even own it, so they don't really care about it. If it's your own small, because basically what I'm saying is,
Kweku, I think we're losing
you. Want job?
You lose
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you go to the village or you go anywhere in Ghana, people prefer to have their own small shop than join together to create a big shop. So we are that individualistic. So you can't force us to build big factories. You have to change the system into like smaller machineries, like so that each person can build something crude enough.
So who do you think should be the engine of this?
This is simple policy, or just direction, because all you need is the technical schools to inculcate into those people finishing school that, your mom has this, what do you call it? He processes motor, but the way she does it is not efficient enough. Can we build a machine which will help her be able to process and do, instead of doing manpower to do only 10 or maybe 100 a day, you can use the machine to do 1,000 a day. Now, once you do 1,000, means you can start exporting because you have excess. Basically, what you are trying to do is you are going to align the educational system to the basic needs in the area.
Okay.
Which is easy because it's a simple machine, a crude machine, not some expensive machine. Not some big time. It's just direction and focus, because most Ghanaians, our education system has made us lose our imagination and our ingenuity. If 1 or 2 people start doing it, you see people start copying. Just like how sachet water became popular because a few people did it, and then people realized, if you can process this product and start doing, instead of doing 100 a week, 100 a day, and you can do 1,000 a day, people start copying, and then they'll start doing it. Because basically all you want to do is you want to semi-process your grains, semi-process your sugar, semi-process all those things, which it has 3 advantages because first, it will increase the shelf life. So you have, in terms of what do you call it? When it's not the harvest season, you still have those products. Because
it's not going to perish very
short. And then in the second place, it also increases the amount of labor you use. So it gives people more jobs because in processing, you need more people to process.
All right. Put a cap on that very much, and let me welcome the other guys. And then
in the third place, it also brings more GDP into the country because there's more activity. Like there's money flowing around because basically instead of somebody pushing the money outside to go and buy the sugar, you just buy the one in the country.
Yeah.
So
if we can make it cheaper.
I mean, that's also one of the the issues I have with the our lack of focus. Because if you have focus, the government can choose to put tariffs to to guard some put barriers so that some of our markets will be prevented, like our small businesses which need to be protected will be protected. But if you know which businesses you want to do well, you protect those ones, and then the rest you can.
You don't allow serious importation.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
All right. Hansen.
Yeah. Oh,
good evening.
Evening. BBC and also CNN, because I saw medical who said. May introduction, may show be and I wear Ghana radio.
Wear Ghana radio.
Okay, and may show a tear for Nana may show BBA with and Obibia data or you see I mentioned BBC there can just introduction about Ghana there. But who can send you? I'll say like Ghana no yintimi nye adwuma mbom. Ade baako a metimi aka wo ho ne say yen say yen mentality no is about say ye adwuma boma na obi ehwe adwuma no so a yen nyina no ya adwenya ne say nipa we odi yen sika eti until say be yi sa adwen no afi yetirim no de there is no way say betimi aye franchise and now say abushia we who say nipa baako amudi adwuma na ahye ne nsa no akoto ka mo no pe the other family members no be ka say musika no na nipa na ye den eyusu etide bia na Ghana stores na ewubehu ni bia na be mom and pops stores entimi me hear something like Malcolm ne then war Ghana no etino that mentality ne dey say wash away from our brain you hear brain sanitizer ebetimi aboy. Because that is the only. I
don't think there is anything wrong with it because every people have their culture. They do things differently. The point is that we have to be flexible and adjust our systems to
But Hansen, I think both of you are right. First of all, it is from our culture. The way we even farm. See the way I eat food. The whole family can get together and farm 50 acres. But no, that's not what's going to happen. Every nuclear family will farm half an acre.
Not the rest, not quiet.
Now I am getting so we don't produce enough to even store for the next season. I know. And I near Okano so near Kweku Kanoso say because there's no actual push towards it. Say if the government and I say if our society decides say that's the way we are going to go about it. And there are going to be policies and incentives put around things like that to make it easier for people to get into it.
Can I come
easier
in?
for a
That's
minute.
That's not what I said actually.
No, I'm not saying that's what you said.
No, that's not what I meant actually. What I meant was that you see, we are that way and we can't wait to change. So in the meantime, we have to be flexible and use that disadvantage as an advantage.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying, say you need that. If that's what we've realized, that this is what we want to do, there can be policies and incentives put together by whoever is in charge to make it easy for that to work.
Yeah, because there's no problem in having 10,000 small companies. Sooner or later,
there's no problem about that.
One will buy the other one will take over the other one, like mergers and acquisitions. You can acquire.
I mean, even not that. Look at the way cocoa farms in Ghana are just individual small farms.
Yeah, we just aggregate.
But the government decided that we're going to build cocoa marketing board so that whatever each little farm produces, they bring to us at the end of the year, and then we have it in bulk so we can sell. So there are so many ways. Yeah. So there's so many ways to make it work, and that's why the government produces cheap fertilizer. All right, bro, man.
Secondly, your banking sector no among my loans are ebe boy and mostly no loans na ye for ye business no. Obi ji loan wo Ghana sesiara na adwen basis wa na say me fie re to me. Enti loan na o de be kwa akoye that kind of business na like nkati cake now can ho asem no. They will rather go and buy cement. Right. You cannot call Let's call like it. Nti basa also a some money yeding because ono onye sika nyeden entia. I mean to me no betimi aboa yen ne say yemfa bibibia ma government, right? Government who build we are not what they ama private because the government na handles anomana enkoye government adwuma bi a Ghana bia enkoye yen fire service omutimi twi ensuo ni ho obi kwa ni track na kwa no mo de fire extinguisher but say private sector can be obe make sure say kwame edan ehye ejino so onya ensuo ready and also obi ambulance ntino obetimi ayeren I issue that in normal government and build this facilities now we are like 1 year 2 years now we handle over to the civilians because because the government now you be na masa buying sika you di na or share next 4 years the other government bearing or be the for but build it no more share private man nsa I don't think so will be a bre build any ibiano obejama the property I then I convey. Every police for but you are no say Kwame akweko si dan quite simple. Kwame said this there's no way the police need to go to many fear now walk the way Ghana police for fee na attitude pansam no because binding the sea into a binding SIA at the Obia Mayor renovation and Obia Vibia. But men I see and I say, when I see ya, there's no way. Oko Ira now back say, Massa, CNA say, ye fieni and I say, ye be before from. But your Jama are buying on Kwa say, like, on share. Mean who the way I mean see like
I got your point. Ghana government, throughout history has proved to us is very poor when it comes to management. It's who point to say and the government should be involved in starting all these companies, but at some point, you should be given to the private sector to run it.
Yes, yes, not like commercial farming now a guy in a cano. Oh, bet me I started. No, we are the private man, no one manage because the government no own me managing ye.
Right, I get it.
And I capital also they starting business now. Oko banking sector now. I say, demand is too much. They become documents.
So there could be an incentive like say government guaranteed loans. Say no so
I don't know. See, here is the problem now. Me say, government loan now. Before now, we receive that loan now. Now, the percentages are and pay for a goods rolling in ano. They receive it is capital and count. Let's see, kind of cross. So what I said, the government, to say like you have a cathedral now. Government, I agree.
Cathedral Hansen, what the cathedral in Burma? All right, but you topic. People are very passionate about the cathedral. Don't use that as an example.
Now, this project is being a government here.
Factories in the doors. I mean, one district, one factory. No, we have over 240.
Okay. My member for nano could be tomato patenta. Okay, my friend said that kind of project, we are one meaning government and one bokase. Now, all the whole amount, all the amount private sector, and say. To send a whole training what car will be Ghana say yes.
Okay.
But because I bank law, I could just that kind of loan no at the tomato factory now. There's no way. My name of Bush and I can't say a talk I bank in the money.
Okay, answer. Your point is made. Yeah, Nana was it?
Yeah. Yo, madasi. Dama aha onye CNN nti mchecho bibia president no onye na abejechi nya mcheche one. One mepede dama youth now okro wakanda ukaka pigma na glass pape. Yeah, mepede kwa kwatwin edwuma was number 1. Report among with Manaye, Mpre Cochin, a list Nash, Edmokra was number 1. 2.
Metama, a quick idea, if that's going to help your point. And yet, a Juma Mako, Nimanduma more Ghana and Yina or Muhia Nipa. A Juma Kesen more Ghana and Yina no Muhia Nipa. And Omdo Munina about one place. And I'm afraid, Omunse Omunya Numa vacancies 3,000. Nti nyuma akese no mo Ghana no mu hia workers ni nyina no yuko mu nyina bo mu hia workers 3,000 ana mo do mu nyina gu one place ti say ha say open aduma obekọ online no akọ apply no ya pet one big place and do mu nyina gu ana asi mu nyina mo mbra na mo me fill applications na mo no mo mbe kasa na yen hwese betima aboa mo so that's what happened.
Okay, madasi. Mine da me adwuma nyina newspapers all Ghana. When nyina da ma adwuma otumo publish on newspapers ma nkofoko. Nso ay normal. Nti abani waji skada oba be da maji. One scanner waji mfaso bi anyo. 2 hwe mosi wo ese prefe bi ne adwuma. Empokono fa na application letter samra. Now one eligi won sika kwame eligi won sika ansana a grant interview na azin nyina exam one. Mbakuna bananga se onyi sika ni bi. Onyi sika ni bi. Nti wako win for na new rhythm no this kind of ba. No tempakuna nsisim. Or the same as what for.
Hold on. Shout out to Haji Abinta. First time on live.
Oh wow.
A round of applause. We'll be a man at times up. Thanks out to Haji Abinta. You're welcome.
Haji Ashimani, you're welcome. It's one. Do you offer process for do you offer 5 services? Fiscal watching one answer and wall of phone and call for. And so Bandama and Paconoba on be a viewer system of ambition because a quick free binisca or boy been a person was I bet I made you. 2. My brother no can't get a cake. Ghana ye Dama and Zaman Nazan Yambwa. Ebe villager, your baby will find and Dobwa. And Dobwa in there, so our little way a blufua, he na a codomo. Nay to me, dear, won't buy any way for the same time some joko calls about Bob. Near what Amazon before any very young schooling, near two your boy young. But education the bem pet in Pacono by your opinion or your boy school. But no, the zero abakan, your cocoa board or what's away. 1 year what to cocoa board a pet near started all about cocoa board. Fitida what to cocoa board, a you fun cotton sebu. By first, now once we now cocoa from when you want to car, when you won't be a pepe. Into Ghana, in ya if you walk school, best me pet northern to turn about a human. Ghana, ye one dobwa pa, ye one dobwa. Sakwame said, Sebu, a cafon uncle far, Sebu, one kusuku, and ditch. Nasa the buona, shahawa with mobocodo. Benya cafon of walk school, I win me then to win in Yansa. It will no book within 1 week. Because in the upper baby as I could feel.
School no boka.
Ah, a bino. School here can say could share bribe is a quarter exam into Yeniska. No, or that come now for. As the young to Japan, no ye other countries now. Said you one brofuna one education on said I papa. It is a warrior as a walk on. Some could see me a boat or not. Some to provide by 100 in Palmuria, but they can be with Tremacao. By Ghana, your parent could see me, manum to produce 1,000, 10,000. I mean, you kwame, I mean, an hour, I'm not a young ones, we are say, no. Into say, in Chebi young ones, a bay 2 necklace, Tumponoya Fewa, or the brum, I must like a mobi, near to young corners and I can see. By Ghana, you need Amazon because of education, you won't see. If you are pede, or Sicily and Ghana. Until now, Ghana say, in ya create a factory, be as a boy on to my own.
If I'm getting your point, we'll say the problem we are having in Ghana is because we are educated. Is that what you're trying to say?
Very good. No, corner my catch out. No, corner my catch out. No, papa. I will enter my catch the Africa fund. You're into a Greek. Africa, you need to be into a Greek. Say, me only agriculture, you be a for the whole world. But education will be a pedoy, that's ring, a pedoy, a nursing proper, a biaproc certificate. I mean, get A1s. A1s was a for the one to me actually. Any A1s cage now on your dear, I shall obey Trazi. On dear,
when you're A1 or horticulture, you
no, sir, I was no produce on producer fee. On producer fee. Engineer, engineer, be we say engineer. Pa, when you then can tie it to Butuma fix. No, I can't fit anyone to school.
Nana, just say, yeah, practical, yeah, theory, no quite, you know.
Yes, very good. And so on and all Hoyan, you put practicals of fun. I mean, Muslim practicals of fun. Because me into practice. Muslim papa for me. One boy. Well, there was one school, bro, for I wish you could come break. I was a baby in your I was 0 account. No, was a call. No, carpentry. Here, mason. Here, and some more dozen. No, what you find. There's a Germany was a carpentry. In San Jim was a teacher Germany. America was in San Jim was a teacher America. Ethiopia was in San Jim was a teacher. But Ghana could see a prayer book and law on Zimbabwe. Book and law on Zimbabwe.
All right.
It's a mama match about you.
Is it put a cock in and chair Obaya? Obaya.
That's
Obaya.
Welcome.
Obaya data.
Oh.
Hello. I think Obaya also.
Tommy, are you? Oh.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Technical difficulties.
Have you got all your appliances in order?
I am contributing on my phone and listening on my iPad. It will work out between the two.
One will work. Yep. All right, let's go on. We've got the job fair, youth unemployment. I think that's what we are tackling right now.
At this point, Kwame, I think our only hope
we can hear you, Obaya, loud and clear,
is foreign investment. We need to pump the economy with somebody else's money because the money in Ghana is not working for the good of Ghana. The money in Ghana is working. Today in Ghana, I saw a $2.5 million home while home shopping. So there's money in the economy. It's just not there for the economy. So it's being enjoyed in Ghana, but being spent in somebody else's economy. So that's fine. I mean, if it's individual funds, that's fine. But at this point, then we too should import somebody's money into our economy. But I understand the bigger picture is we don't want foreign countries taking over Ghanaian affairs. The only way to bypass that then is to stop going for loans from governments and import private investor funds from outside. So instead of going to the US for a loan, import Amazon's business into Ghana. Do what India did. Make Ghana a hub for Amazon's communications or IT or something where they can get reduced labor, which is going to in turn help our unemployed population, but also pump money into our economy. Because the whole Yamfa onus no my government no because we've tried this for 60 years. Ghana is not a capitalist economy. Ghana is a socialist economy that's not functioning as a socialist economy, that is bankrupting itself at a fast pace. Therefore, we've tried the socialist experiment. It doesn't work. Capitalism is not going to work in Ghana because we don't have that mindset. When you open one door for somebody, they're going to pull everybody in without regard for the fact if the person can do the work or not. So capitalism, we will bankrupt it very quickly. But if it's somebody else's capitalism, dollars or pounds or euros, and they have oversight on it, but it's helping us, I think that's the point we're in. At this point, we're too proud to beg.
I don't think begging has ever been a problem in Ghana. We've never been too proud to beg. We've always been begging. But point, I'll counter it by saying, almost every major mining company. Mining is about 20% of our GDP. Almost every major mining company in Ghana is foreign owned. So we've been pumping money from foreign countries into the country for so many years. But what happens, and they say, if Anglo Golds come to Ghana and mines gold, he does not refine the gold in Ghana. He takes the gold and take it to his country to refine it and sell it there. The money doesn't stay in the Ghanaian economy for too long. And Ghana economy, the only thing we get from those mines are royalties to the chiefs. The workers that get there get paid a little. Most of the management are even brought from Australia and South Africa anyway. And I think we've been doing that, and I don't think that is working. Well, it's somehow working, but I don't think that's working very good. That we should just replicate it and make it bigger. That would be my take on that one.
So all the big lawyers we have in Ghana, we don't have lawyers who are business and public policy who can make it so that if you're operating in Ghana, majority of your production needs to happen in Ghana, and Ghana needs to have a bigger stake in your profits. You're going to hire Ghanaians in these positions. You're going to US, everywhere we go, that's what we do. If our business is coming here, this is the amount.
It used to be like that. A champion, head of state in the 70s changed the Ghanaian policies to make sure that every company that comes in Ghana to mine or use our resources, whatever company that is established or whatever entity that is established, Ghana owns 50%. And guess what? All the companies obliged. We own 50% in all the mining companies. Every company that came from foreign money, Ghana owned 50% of it. Guess what? Between the time of Rawlings up to now, we own less than some of the companies. We own less than 1%. So we tried that too. We put all the policies. We had like half the stakes of every company that was in Ghana that was foreign based. But guess what? We sold them off bit by bit by bit by bit. And now I think mining, I don't know. So being the percentage, we own less than 1% of every gold that is mined in Ghana, bauxite, whatever, oil, BBI, only less than 1%. So I think when it comes to that, we're a bit too late on that. Quick, you want to come in?
And yes, Ghana is fine.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm.
You see, you can't even do that because now you are competing against other nations. So if you put in place a lot of conditions, they tell you we are going to mine in Congo, or we are going to mine in Indonesia or somewhere else, because then it's a world market where you're competing with investors, and the investors can pick and choose which countries they want to go to, depending on what do you call it, conditionalities you place on them.
Right.
So they choose the countries who give them the best conditions to exploit, and they are in it just for their money. They are in it to exploit you, to get as much as they want from you. So the onus is upon you to find a way to either trick them into coming and using them, or finding a way to be smarter than they are. So maybe you may take a hit in the short term, but in the longer term, you may make a return from it, depending on how you structure it. But most of the time, we've lost our Kwekwanansi spirit, like Ghanaians. Like our education system doesn't help us with that, because basically we just do chew and pour. So all the ingenuity and all that, we don't use it anymore in our dealings with the white man, because the white man does a lot of Kwekwanansi things. I mean, everybody does.
We've lost our wits.
Yes, exactly. We've lost our so because basically it even boils back down to WTO. You know, WTO is where you go and you go and bargain with the whites, and they say you have to open this part of your market. So
you can call them foreigners.
Yeah. Foreigners. So yeah, my bad. So you go to WTO, and then you make agreements that I open up my market so you can come and invest and all that. So yeah, and basically what we've done is, because we don't even have focus, we don't even know which industries we want to protect and which industries we want to champion. Because if you open up your market too much, they'll dump a lot of products on you. For example, the US and Europe, because they say strategically they don't want to be dependent on anybody for farming, they subsidize their agriculture. What happens with subsidization is that it makes them overproduce. Now, when they overproduce, the long and short is that after their reserves are full, they dump the rest on us.
The old storage.
Exactly, the old stock. The bad side effect of the good part of it is that it makes food cheap, but the bad side effect is that it makes the farmer in Ghana go bankrupt.
Yeah, he can't compete.
That's why, that's why our poultry industries go up and down depending on how much dumping they dump on us. Because in in decades where they do a lot of dumping, our poultry industry dies because there are a lot of old dead chicken in freezers that people are buying. So all the poultry farmers go bankrupt. And because we don't protect our market from anti-dumping or anything, we always have those climbs. Like you have Dako farms, and then they all go bankrupt. And then we invest in new farms, and then they go bankrupt. Yeah, so then we go through we are always going around in circles, chasing our own tail, because we have not strategically thought of which industries we want to and how we should protect them. So we build them up because the only way you can open up your market is when your companies are strong enough to compete. When they are nascent and they are infants, it's very hard for them to compete. But we open our poultry farmers, we open every industry up for competition, and then they are drummed out because either the Chinese will be dumping on us, or the Europeans will be dumping on us, or the Americans will be dumping all their products on us, and then they all go bankrupt. And then we start again. So then all the money you loaned them to start their business is for nothing. And now you owe money because you gave people money to be loaned out. So it's a lot of problems.
Let me ask you a quick question. Can't we do what the Nigerians did? Their rice farmers were suffering. So what they did is that they stopped importation of rice, and they blocked all their borders from rice importation. So,
I can say we are a bit stupid because Nigeria is a big country. We could have used that to our advantage and hid under their umbrella, and then did the same thing. Because normally when you do that, the Europeans will come for you like they came for Rwanda when Rwanda said they didn't want to import any more folks products. But when Nigeria did it, we could have done the same thing, because they would have blamed Nigeria because they started it, and Nigeria is a bigger country. They can cover over it. So we could have also blocked the market from importing rice, while we try to encourage our rice farmers to plant the rice. But we didn't do that. So then what we have is that we plant the rice. We don't have a concerted policy. We don't follow up with it. Some people come and dump rice on us and it becomes too cheap, and then our farmers can compete, and then we go out of business. Now, because basically what we should be doing is that we should be building our rice industry. So we have a supply chain of processors, agro processors, and distributors. Because you need a chain to make it continuous, so that it starts going. Because in the first place, you harvest the rice, you need to store it, and you need to process it, and you need to distribute it. Now, if you don't start by producing a lot, you will never get to the point where you will need to have enough money to buy storage facilities to store them in large quantities. And you don't get to the point where you have a lot of distributors, because there's not enough produce to be distributing. So you need to build a big mass and build capacity and get into that flow before you can have that whole industrial cycle. Industrial cycle to to create that particular industry, because each industry has its own you have the major suppliers, the sub suppliers, and all the subcontractors in the industry. Now it's a whole chain which you create, which are interdependent on each other. Once one breaks, all the others start to fall apart, and before you no longer have any industry.
Yeah, so Kwame.
Go ahead.
Kwame, my brother, all kissing on into underground, or the one in them surface, or the one in them education. One of our schooling, no, on the other one, Namondo. Oh, no, Africa, listen, Africa, or the yako underground. One of them would dear tomatoes, one would dear ashel, one would produce a American, no, they you fight Africa, Yokoye. But at the one in the medication for one that still, but for some other with young lawyers in listen, with young lawyers, we are school in you good, you only 5%. Yen oil, you only 5%. Yen diamond, you only 5%. Everything 5%. One of our school now. But say Eshe and Chroma, very good. Eshe and Chroma, do you started there already now? Okay, for one schooling because one when on the ground, one about one farmers na kasa, one about to educate one kakran, go to Makasa. You've been Sabrofo. Papa be for me if it's no Cape Coast on Sabrofo. Now so on help of no compete more on one. Right? On Sabrofo, but I hear on help of compete on renew one. Into Yana Yako school yet a brofon. Instead of the able to me, ya help one walk down. Then you to me develop a yaman and still you go do your cabro for some. Namasaka and I'm never bobosa. Pogregami, obey one bubuso. Only use Nankasa non coffin, no, the nucro. Into why the Ghana use young coffin infant crew instead of the Aboko US, Canada, Germany, even was there to rebrand.
I think another quick crew can say to me find a way to protect industry now. To say rice or yes, example no rice no not all consider my farmers no a buck cow rice no say allow countries to say China, Taiwan, Thailand, US, New Europe for no. I'm more rice no more master or one penno. Allow more the back country. So when the back country mas our rice no a cheaper chain no boy for chain farmers no ediano. And to be on top farmers in the end, more boka. I don't want some now walk.
Madasi, 883. I come see Ghana 883. No, what's after the was it a mile or your performance was a brain.
I think that
83. What's after was it a mile or your perfume was a brain. So many I've been your crop. Yes, I've been your crop. Oh, my, I've been your crop outside rice and do. Into young Ghana rice and all then to oil and that one. And one too. Nay, farmers can one so producing. What bread and said reproducing to the boys and Goku Medasi. Maybe open into the man's bro, because bro for Canada, them one of our school no one.
Yeah,
but fabulous. Medas, I wish you also. Fabulous. They indicate one of war in class and also. Medas.
Right.
Okay, look at Chica. I mean,
David, are you true? No, or you true? I can know who by my uncle did was it. But my by.
Education now can on ebe folly and yeah tech no. We said Ghana tech no like final students no ba be graduation and now say ura third year na will be na. The project should be say outside school or now who the major problems na Ghana no. Bit to say like yeah more we say like more rice farming no more issues. Ghana more now you know sometimes no to me bobu now I drink cry yeah in this case no other than tech for no more say your issues with more obi di more no abobu until no you for that project no Emma schools no that technical institutes no one yet that kind of research say okay this year maybe 2021 my final year my project here rice processing 2022 most of my project here maybe fufu making because over 200 years now I find a tech working here fufu making abra continue the instance you know and that's all I use me and you know that education na kind of and that tech you know technical institutes you know and not a better sense say you better question theory you know because right now no you many abofnen compete say you the two arguing say first of all you many abofnen compete because omo machinery you so you the answer na edo it will be use tractor and will be use Mercedes enye possible There's no way. I can say Okoto China shoes. Obi or Italy, and then it's handmade. There is no way prices the same because people know what Italy Obi soon and never stitching until be taking more time. Until at the end of the day, the price higher than or no used to mechanized way now, like processing everything speed up, possible say or only the little bit cheaper. It is a Ghana for you bet me any other compete here. There's only one way say you bet me can say organic. Because
yes.
And then you bet me other competing and say can say you commercial idea. There's no way. We are ahead. It is a the rice you need you come market now. You can say you need organic.
Yeah, but I understand. Friends, Hassan, I think when it comes to like food stuff, rice and stuff like that, exporting is very good. But the Ghanaian market is very big when it comes to food like that. We can produce our own food. A champion did it. We can produce our own food. And like Kweku said in his last but one submission said, we can make sure we are protecting some of those industries. And the importation of rice, allow no. We can reduce it. I mean, I had somebody saying, the problem with that, and say the so-called big men in Ghana are the people that are importing all those rice.
Yeah, but
it's true.
If you put a block on the rice importation, and I say if you increase tariffs on them, you are going to hurt the same financiers that are financing these political parties, and so the government will not do it.
That's why you have to issue
last 2 weeks program now, and now make here he said they say they are shorting maize because poultry farmers commented more enough about already market already say this year Ghana will issue about corn production and maize production it's mobile projection towards that Ghana for and then come up it's the same farming to send you a suku by right it's the next year not Ghana it's your month to be idea and I need a year you keep put the remaining access now it's next year the third year now I say it's I go back to corn almost last year it's me dog I know bedo kwaku bedo it's Ghana besin it's me now I send the command aba but Bruno consistent sir already overproduce because you never know say natural disaster be better yes it's be here Ghana but Ghana so market say and the body it will be other body next year obi anya na age so ne concrete so be that kind of farming or message after alternative way but at the end of the day over ya say benya food shortage and industries now more say rice factory
yes the government has a government remedy for this. I think they call them bulk storage or tetania from food distribution.
Yes,
their job and they say if we overproduce anything, they will buy whatever we've overproduced, and store it. Send a buyer farmer on Boka or Benyeska to invest in his next farming season. America for you. And no na Kwekuka say, Omo rice no almost a drew baby or moon here beyond no exporting. All those normally are those ones that are bought by the government to store. Or store and drew baby no fresh harvester. He has to get rid of the one in the storage. I don't know. Or air perfume rice now more to talk.
But
Yama Obaya Mumkaka thing with
okay.
Obaya.
Miss Chrissy, did you have anything to say?
Okay, let me turn my iPad down so I could talk. Comment, but I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
You said that the job fair that only had 3,000 jobs to offer. That was all the available jobs in Ghana that responded?
That's all they got, yes.
Oh, okay. I will come back to that. Please remind me. I said I'll come back to that.
And let me give you something. It was as a result of the 50 million jobs
But
created the last 4 years.
So here's the problem, right? We're trying to macro manage an entire process without money. This is where micromanaging is going to help us. Break down the process. Relegate the duties. Keep some government, keep some private. Because, so, like, let's use the rice production. Producing rice is a problem because it's expensive for the local farmers.
It is.
Grain cost, fertilizer, pesticides, all that. That is one cost, right? Transporting rice is another problem.
Yep.
That's the second phase to this problem. Storing rice, that's another problem because even if we have these facilities, we don't have the infrastructures to keep the facilities running. Doomso is still a problem in 2021.
Yeah. That's true.
Then, so now we've got 3 phases of the same rice. Then finding a global market for our rice and getting it to the global market, that's another problem. So these are 4 problems or 4 different phases of rice production that can be broken down into 4 different phases and allocated to 4 different parties, but we're trying to do it as one, and we can't afford to do it as one. At this point, I think that we can go back and forth, and not on this panel, but as a country, we can go back and forth all day as to whose responsibility it is to make sure this happens. I was thinking private sector. Kwame, see, we've tried that. We failed. Kwame is advocating more government. I see that as we've tried that and failed. So at this point, I think we need to stop asking who does this and actually just do it. Do it and see whether it works or it fails. Just do it.
Just throw against the wall and see who sticks.
How about if we do a hybrid approach?
That's what I was talking about. Because today, I'm trying to find a headline so I can post it. I saw a headline that public companies in Ghana over the last year made a profit of 630 million Ghana cedis. So it can work if you want it to work. The idea that public companies it's not going to work because it's government owned, I totally disagree with it. What I'm saying is that we can have a hybrid, as Kweku said, and I think even Nana Jose said something on that line. We can have a hybrid that the government is a non-profit organization. And if you make it a private organization, all they care about is money. Look at Bezos and all these guys around here. If we were all just relying on them to give everybody a job, it was going to be a problem. Because they can spend 100 and 200 million on just trying to go to space for 2 seconds. They don't really care much about you. But government's problem, unemployment is a serious problem for government, any government that cares. And since at the end of the year, nobody's going to ask the government how much profit did you make, and investors are going to be wild. Government can actually use the same tactics he used last year. Government at the same tactics you see last year, I'll make you 630 million Ghana cedis. which is about a few, which is about maybe 100 or 150 million dollars last year. No, I don't know, and we can reinvest all those profit we make from the public companies into creating more avenues for more jobs. Because the government, the private company like Casaprecon and all those companies, it's all about profit for them.
But this is my fear with it. You see, if you are going to involve government, you shouldn't involve government in the production part. I'll prefer like the government provides land, because those things are frustrating. Provide the land, or even provide the premise, the building, and all the infrastructure to reduce the amount of cost
capital needed,
cost on the private citizen, so the private citizen can use those facilities and pay the government back in installments over a very long period. Because that if the government is involved in running it itself, they bring their political apparatus in there and they mismanage it, because then NDC comes and bring their own people, and the MPP comes and bring their own incompetent people. Everybody brings their own incompetent people just because they want power. So the point is to like create the infrastructure for them, the basic like capital infrastructure for them, and then lease it out to them with very good, very low rates over a very long period. So you reduce the amount of capital the business person needs. But so at the end of the day, the government is providing, it's like an underwriter. He underwrites it, but he's not operating it.
Right. I think that's what Hansen suggested. But my problem with that, say government to not, like Hansen made an example, say government to not talk car, not the private investor say you should car. The government doesn't have power over it as to how many people he can, how much profit the guy is going to make, as long as government is being paid the lease every year. It's being paid the lease every year. It is every year be my government 100 cities. As long as government is getting the 100 cities, if you are getting 100 cities every year, you have nothing to say. But government has, there's a problem. The problem I have with that, and they say, the reason why I want government to be involved in such things, and they say, government, what he wants to achieve about this is not the money. What he wants to achieve is making an effort to solve the unemployment. Because at the end of the day, the investor, he's going to meet all his, he's going to meet his board and every investor that has put money into his company to explain to them why he didn't make the target profit. But government is not going to do that.
But I disagree with you in this way, because like in the first place, no matter how much the business person is looking to make profit, he will still need to hire people. And our end point is just to hire more people. In the second place, you can also have an arrangement where the government can own shares, like minority shares in the company, like how in Germany, VW is owned by, is it not Rhine-Westphalia, one of the states? They own part of VW, so they always have a board seat. And that's exactly
the model I want us to go with.
So,
I think, hold on a minute. Obaya wanted to say something really quick. Obaya, I think you're muted, Anna.
So, let me clarify. Today, are we having an idealistic conversation or a realistic conversation?
Realistic.
No, it's both.
Realistic. Let's try and be as realistic as possible.
Okay, because the only problem here, the only problem I foresee, okay, Mifa is into tree because Nana is going to get to me very soon. Government, no. The government itself, unstable. With each change of administration, we scratch everything. Nia started something completely different. Right? Yep. So in that setting, relying on government there, on a cornerstone for development of the country, unrealistic, because with every election, even within the same party, with every election, we completely lose focus and start something completely different. We have a constitution. We have the way the country is supposed to go. We have the way country on paper look, but to be realistic, that is not how Ghana is being run. Your constitution, and now what we're actually doing too is here.
Right.
I'm a federal worker in the United States. The one thing that is great about federal work is we are assured, no matter who is in power, certain things are going to work and run in a specific way. You might come with different ideology, but what is what is. This is not how Ghana runs. If every time a new candidate comes into power, we switch gears, sometimes 180, our development plan cannot be aligned with government. While capitalism sucks, it is our solution here, because a private party, a truly capitalist economy is going to thrive no matter who is in power, because their bottom line is their dollar.
You know,
into whatever they have to do to hit their bottom line, so yes, ideally, government-backed infrastructure and growth and economy is where we should be looking as Ghanaians.
I think
also, there's nothing on paper on how Ghana should run. Oh, I was talking about our constitution, please, Mel. The constitution.
But the point
I think you made a great point. You make a very good point. But
the point we're making the point we're making is not to, what do you call it, make the government take over the place. Basically, what we are saying is like building roads so that companies can use the road to take their goods to the port or take their goods from one state to the other. We can extend that into creating industrial zones where businesses won't need to think about buying the land, because when you're starting a business, those things are very hard in Ghana. Buying the land, finding the land, getting electricity connected there, all those things which make it very difficult for a business to start, because unlike here where you can get an industrial zone to go and open a factory, in Ghana it's very difficult. So we can't wait for our system to become like this. So we want the government to just build those industrial zones so that if you want to start a factory, you're Ghanaian and you go back to Ghana.
Industrial zone.
There be also the assassin can auto na what connect electricity ne a pipe water. Now a one more cheap loans be and one.
I see.
Yeah, but hello. Sometimes no car, no one say like that industrial, you know, but the Nipa craft already. Now the industrial place,
I see what you're saying, and I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
except
Mama
Kaza all the hande sikaningi ho. Kwame has given us this huge, amazing figure of how much was generated last year. But please, where are the proceeds?
Sikano or him.
Travel and talk.
And that is what I'm saying. On paper, I mean, Ghana just got an award for what it looks, what we, who African countries to look to for what we do with funds we get from foreign aid and foreign loans. We literally just got that award this week. Because on paper, we look good. But those on the ground know that
yes, sir.
You were asking, say, your lawyers knew, you know, Juma Ben or me. Juma no me they will make everything look good on paper so that we can win an award. That's what they do.
Kwame, money Legend investor no or don't you good water, or don't you good road. When you could green, when my men or the village in. The village, or don't you good water, quick listen, or don't you good water, or on your good road. First of all, or that I know village, one of village, when you good water to drink, good road, invest in about wonder or one or what so, none so when you be. But Eric can invest on instead of their working in Pocono Bordeaux, in Pocono producing Zaman or Zam, invest in Mozarcon. On the is encouraging, other Ghana Footballers Association. What for coach? What more coaching? Very nice place, mother. No one of who born now can sample with the baby badanfu. Right? Or they isn't can yet in villages and or they call you come on, papa, you come on better road. Kenyan villages was a cocoa. No, or fun a blown.
Yes, see, industrial zone or a village honor. Omunya to be connected a pipe industrial zone.
Coffee, well, but when you buy an Accra, one for you make a village.
First of all, no. Industrial in Americana. You find magazine your comparison to see a magazine and one of the industrial you Ghana to see a bit media a good example. How many times no use a pipe wall and I toilet in the car? How many times no I?
That's why Kweku suggested say, Yanfa water, just make it. Oh, you don't have to do anything. Go
just one big place.
Quarter land no. Now kasi what see factory bia braha for electricity call. Now for so call. Now making sure say land near cheap enough say. Obisika waba bobo say our America so they could be company ketu ebin okwa ongo spend this sika ni nyina on nananum trying to get a land.
Kwame, Kweku maintenance day. Why they yanka the land kasi near from Wabra land no ekraso. Land they yanka when David Yanka land class. Young pretty class and one you want but no. Yanka the land the bia on kade a higher
because so Yanfa Colombian coffee any example Kumua. Obiani kwaya efaswa edru Dunkin Donuts but obi happy so they are there you know through packaging so I don't know you use right now no shea butter any black soap no akata for pepper but Ghana why na yes black soap no obi o get bia the cement paper and there is no way say akata ni ubaka say Uncle told that kind of soap no better.
Hey, Hassan, point of correction, African American.
Okay, maybe what we want to say is the government should rezone, not build, but rezone and allocate industrial districts. Now, this is what we do. If you come and get the land in the industrial district to open your factory, then you are responsible, you the business, you are responsible for developing the area around your factory. If it's the village, you're responsible for developing the village around your factory. In return, Kweku, I know you want to shoot it down, but please, listen small. In return, Ghana government, for 10 years, we won't charge you taxes. So that we're not coming out of pocket up front as a government to pay anything.
Right.
We will lose out on those taxes for those 10 years. But what we foresee is that in 10 years, now we no longer have to go and develop village A, because you would have developed it, you would have brought a transformer, you would have chain lights from somewhere, you would have done the roads, you would have built a school, you would have built a community hospital. The government has to be willing to take a short-term loss to see a long-term gain.
Exactly.
That too, we are not willing to do. So,
because it's been in 10%. It's been in 10%.
The fact that you have the industrial zone in your village means all the people in the village will have a job to do because that's the factory they'll be working in. Because once you have the factory there, they need people to work there. Either they are going to transport the goods or they are going to help process the product. So that village is going to get the jobs coming there. So it's like she was saying, it's just a short term, what do you call it, investment by the government. They can even seize some of the lands because some of the lands are even government owned.
Right.
And I mean, use that. I mean, because once the land is in a centralized place, it's easier because you don't need to be piping the water to like 5,000 different places. It's just one main area. It's just central. So it's not something that
I mean, it's done almost everywhere that I've been apart from Ghana. So it's nothing new. And but the way I system is it going to work?
No, because it will help the business person. Because I mean, once you make it easier for a business person, there's a higher probability of the person starting a business.
Right, but unse Obaya Kasim said the government should make long-term gains and take a short-term. It's what it is, and say government no Oba. He only sees he's got 4 years to make him and his cronies rich. Onuna on best start our business way. Now 8 years later, NDC Malomumbe repeat. Nah, that's not gonna happen. So he's gonna tax the hell out of these people to make the money to try and like Mel Kayano to try and fulfill his manifesto promises. Halfway. It is 111 hospitals. Also, on taking short-term loss. Now, the government or the see 111 hospitals. You're crazy. Oh my God.
Okay, good. So we want 111 hospitals. We have accepted that. Instead of taking that 111 hospitals upon yourself, please, Sam Jonah, Despite all these big money people, right? Cut them a deal, give them an incentive. Hey, you can expand your business to a zone. Oh, Mel too said I should speak cheap. Hey, Kwame, I beg, make I hire you a Ochiame. Or else it will be very hard in this conference today. Inti, okay.
I'm with Mel on this one.
Over today, Kwame Despite. Inti, and appear our government appear 111 hospitals. And you see, 111 hospitals. But I would see them 111 hospitals, no, so that next 4 years you can stand on that to run again. So, Despite the group of companies needs to expand, help each other out.
Right.
Okay, Despite, you can expand here. We won't charge you, but in exchange, you will build the hospital for us, and you will do the road, and you give the village electricity. Simple. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Just that the more back scratching, other people too can benefit in the name of the average Ghanaian.
Yeah, that's the problem. The other people benefiting, but not the government benefiting, or whoever party that sponsored that government benefiting. It's a problem. Politics is. I mean, all these ideas are great, and I'm sure all these politicians have thought about these things that we are talking about. Go ahead, Hanson.
Check the number. Check the number of Ghana. And to say that Obia Kwaje a year instead of be a business company, no, Obia a radio station and a TV station. I don't want a development of Ghana. Na who Kwaje license them be a Juma. Like obi a wɔ Ghana biara no either sɛ ɔkɔbie radio station and a TV station eti no at the end of the day no ɛnyɛ nsɛmhunu na yɛbɛtena radio so aka eti sɛ wokɔgye license na wokɔbie radio station a ɛdeɛ mbiem na ɛna adwuma no so koraa na ɛwɔ Ghana no so koraa na yɛ promote no ɛyɛ one way apart from that energy drink no ɔmo no ɛne Trebetuni then apart from ɛdeɛ mbiem yɛntumi mfa yɛ adwen nyinaa oh yɛntumi mfa yɛ adwen nyinaa ɛnyɛ den ɛsi government so right now no akɔyɛ sɛ government no deɛ yɛnim sɛ ɔde ehwamɔ but yɛn citizens no ɛdeɛn na yɛbɛtumi like na meka sɛ alata semena no obiara sɛ abɛyɛ ayi sɛ obiara pɛ but there is nobody sɛ wɔtumi package na ɔmo that cement paper na obiara use no because government no woyɛ dɛn a ɔno no ne 4 years ayi na ne blue green book and no person for failing. Yes,
but let's just build on what Obaya said. Say, government in America say, you know what, Kwame despite groups of companies, Andrew group of companies, all these companies. This year or the next 4 years, I want to embark on building our health system. This is very easy. Hey? Yeah, JJ health insurance on everything. You pay taxes on health insurance. Money that is going to be paid for your services as a hospital is guaranteed because your JJ taxes be a come. What they say, 111 hospitals. Minimum 2 years. If you are able to complete within the 2 years and employ this amount of nurses and this amount of doctors and all the people that you need to make the hospital work. First of all, every month your money is guaranteed through the NHS. And secondly, taxes are on some of your companies, your group, made the better for the next 5 years.
Right.
These people will rush. We will end up having 222 hospitals instead of 111.
Good.
But do we have any political party in Ghana? I'm not even talking about government. The government is a political party. Even political PNC onya nipa kra ndi assemblyman. If you go tell him say ena onya, he's going to think, okay, so how much money am I going to get from this to fund my party people? So, problem at Ghana. The politics is getting
but you can also
in the way of patriotism. Go on, Kweku.
You can use other tools to make them, like for example, if you can tell a politician that if he does this, he can have his placard here. I mean, his sign here, and then everybody will know that it's during his time that he facilitated this. I mean, there are ways to use people.
But we already do that. But
you can use that.
Who said now old president in black and white or no colored or bus? No. They do that already.
You have to massage it for them. You can use, apart from money, you can use those things to like try to steer them in a way that you, because power is finding means to steer people in ways you want them to behave, even though they may not even know that you are doing that. And all you guys are talking about is that your policy congruence, because if you have the ideas and you have to put them market them in a nice way to, what do you call it, to push them to the right people so they can do exactly what you want to do. But here's right. The point where we're in a country where everybody's policy is win Namhana, win Namhana, win Namhana, win Namhana. So the whole thing is disorganized. Mm-hmm. So, and nothing goes forward when you're that disorganized. A case in point is, the education system where we are training a lot of people doing marketing, but we don't have that many people who need marketing. We need people in technical skills, like the German type of technical education.
Mm-hmm.
But because any policy we don't train people who can help our farmers create, build farm equipment, create things which will help our environment. We are training too many lawyers who don't have any job to do, training too many marketing people, because most of the time when you go to a company, there are way more technical people working there than marketers. A marketing department has 3 people, depending on the size of the company. So why do you train that many marketers for a country? But our government will sit down and then we keep on training so many people doing this humanities, this marketing, and then instead of pushing them into computer science or technical education like mechanical engineering and those stuff, we don't push them.
Carpentry, masonry,
carpentry, farming, agro engineering. Yes, sir. So
one thing is for sure, Ghana, we need a lot of tilers and plumbing. If you try to build a house in Ghana,
exactly. But
you see some of these artisans coming to work for you, you realize that Ghana, we need a lot of technical education when it comes to artisans. Because artisans, you don't need $1 million to set them up.
Yeah, Kweku.
Say Ghana say exporting engineers. In University, we school are no money salary. I was part of it anyway. Embassy and high commissions. Because Ghana and Nigeria are one of the biggest exporters of human resources. Yeah, exporting human resources, scratching cuckoo.
Nurses crying number 1.
Eh?
Yeah, Kwame. My parents based on some crew. What for police, what for soldier, what for fire service, what for any Aberdeen was what Pebia or your masoning or Pebia or your fitting or Pebia or your carpenting. Aberdeen somewhere damn.
Because the army needs them too.
Very good. It's why the Ghana, Walla Fem Kofu, one for be a captain, not on work as that position Aban was a man. Aban was a monk.
Oh, what foul?
Oh,
and one day we should even try and talk about it.
What for underground, and I will be why just reading keke.
Yeah, carpenters normally a book carpenter, so almost yet practical. So there's a problem there in the first place.
Madasi. Nti yeni bibiara. Survivor. Survivor.
The truest carpenter.
Survivor. Three yako underground. Mayekani nyina ayefe. Brofo, Fanto, Abezo. Kwenanado tam no kobai. Agenda 111 in us. Also, I'm for Masrawan. Macabrofo. In fact, I am a yopa because one of what to when you brofo working 90% 1,000. So what's that? It will be sent a question. There, Papa. Mostly and crying seeing we. And the way now of which children and some of one by one would know. Papa, I boy and about. Nti masra Ghana painful. One fall as nzeme nyina nko underground. Na yebe yeye. Masra Ghana want to impress me because in painful when I walk to school wo pe 0 what I can 10. So nanado nem painful way you winning nyina what can you do nyina. Nana mopocho fair exams. When you now are about 70, a cake mind.
Oh,
a cake mind. Man Canada. One another number boom painful what supporting in your 70s column. When you now were pedachi or pezel was a Jamunichima. I want parent yang energy. No corner make a chow. Messi, I mean. Manza me ya wahade. The man me ya mazi. Manfa machine. And some water now on so chromosome $10, $20. A water, a buffalo water, a buffalo per loca as a one side as I get you.
Right. That's why Italian shoes are more expensive than Chinese shoes.
Inti yen tenka education na mrebe dollar kan. So wanye dwuma wo Ghana ye be sink it down.
Right.
Yeah, we keep on training lawyers instead of technical education. We don't train.
Inti yen go the next topic.
Next topic, Mpacho. Ghana, what tax churches are?
No, on tax.
Debbie.
Why?
What tax some activities of churches?
Churches are one of the fastest generating. Oh, revenue generating. It is one of the fastest and highest grossing lines of employment in Ghana. Why are they not taxed? If the government doesn't want to make new jobs, then we need to take advantage of the jobs that are in place now. Why are we not taxing churches?
Why are you trying to tax God? Why are you trying to tax God? And from
after all, the Bible said, "Give unto Caesar what is for Caesar." Therefore, when you give God 10%, you give the government 10%. 80%.
I wonder what the two Juma for Sika was the Kissy Chapel Dana at Damayina.
Obaya,
Kwame check 5 services for the 2 on this car was Kissy Chapel then. It may have what to be on this car was the Kissy Chapel then. Kwame check come up next week. Mecha
Obaya, the taxes now Okano, and na ADC prison no, or Pentecost for ADC prison. I'm out.
But seriously, the reason why churches are not taxed is because in the past they used to build our schools and hospitals for us, like St. Augustine's, Presec, this other college. I mean, they built our
we have the most important one.
Which one is it?
College.
Oh, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, please, let's clarify. Churches did not build that. Foreign missionaries built that.
Yeah, but they were churches. But they are churches. They are classified and they are added to the churches.
Debut, over pretty church, what was it a year? Church and our brother, what did you do was it Zama, Mobuana? What did you in this car was Cabrini Italy? Was a British America? First, you had to collection as a common one. And see, as a way, no one young for such an hour.
We paid back, yeah. We paid it.
Messin there, it be a boy real, a tema, it be a boy real. No, we'll rip away no umba. Nampo couldn't wait canon. Wabaka to the Abazio. Oh, it be a boy real, we'll rip me, remember. Oh, Damaza, Jawan City, first of all, Yalaba. I am Pocuna Abazi. The man that Bible churches no was I him. Secretary.
Hadia, Anka, if we tax them, Anka, by now, we don't need to do La Sula Life to build our cathedral.
That's it.
Anka, these taxes, we can take them used to build the cathedral.
Secretary,
let me see your shouting. Let me see your shouting.
Kwame, I can't be 3 minutes though.
I think we are not going to be able to attack the rest, the two.
Oh, yeah,
but I mean, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous that in 2021, a country like Ghana and Brazil collects collection and sends it to the Vatican Fund. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Debbie, I'm about school.
And if you've been to Vatican City, you'll understand why I think it's absolutely crazy. Vatican City is its own country within Italy. Yeah. Right outside of Vatican City, right outside in Rome, there are hungry, starving people.
Catholics.
But because they are not on Vatican City grounds, which they are not allowed to be on Vatican City grounds, which to me is insanity in the highest, because that is the seat of a church.
Right,
because they're right outside Vatican City walls. Nobody cares if they're hungry or not. So why are we taking from our poverty, our ohiabu bro, to send them to Vatican?
How do you
We
want
don't
the
use our
Pope
brains,
Mobile
that's
to be
the
paid
problem.
for?
Okay, you got the next topic. What's like I have 15 minutes?
No.
Topic no you get pay 8 feet.
Why can you 14 minutes? I don't think we can make it, but let's do this quickly. You better try battle, and then next week we will try and come back a cup of Subempa. I don't know, but for now, it sounds trivial. USA, I donated 1.2 million doses of vaccine to Ghana. Ghana for Saka. So to say, you know 1.2, not a penny spent. It's my question is Sputnik, where are you?
Sikana
It's not I was saying all the so-called first countries to vaccinate people. No munya surplus or their brain. I think that should have been our strategy. What do you think? Instead of spending billions of Ghana cedis and getting
please,
nothing.
we got a refund. We gave you the refund of the money we didn't pay. Why are you asking about Sputnik again?
But I ain't too many. Fast. Now for the next topic. Okay.
Now topic it's let's finish it. You guys have spent forever on unemployment.
Yeah, but you're good, because you're fighting, man. With you blow. Kwame,
we will attempt it again.
I want
Obaya is going to make a very structured, program on this youth employment, because I think we have to really be attacking very well. So, vaccines at the moment, Ghana.
I take on
a country of
just as long as I don't have to work equipment.
No equipment. Leave all the apparatus to me. Ghana, a country of 30 million. We vaccine about 1% of our people, 3-point-something million. And then the good news about say is going to be about 3-point-something% because we've got about 1.2 million doses. No money paid. It's what our strategy at the end of the day did not work. What can we do? How do we get ourselves prepared for the next pandemic? Because it's going to happen.
Kwame. Sikano minister no so that's all.
That's all.
Okay. So the problem is you be free there. You to the still production no unye there. So you sika the obetimi return it, right? And a contract no mo say it's not refundable.
On paper, as I'm can
on paper no, unless fine print or match say the money is not refundable. And yes, idea say you be free. You can be. And a free. And a texting one. Our mother bread say and try say a part near better, right? And no the wall, And a second one I buy a free one. It's the next one, no.
First one is free, sir.
Yes, first one is free. And a second one is free. And the third one never banner. And another year, me find say almost surplus now. Like akaka craving sparring data, I can't know. You be seeing so it's right now, no, the money should be retained. Maybe a free echo ibiano. You be free.
Audience says Sikaya spending or trying to get our own vaccines. But my question is, it is the same. No, how do we get ourselves prepared for the next pandemic?
Because Sikana da honi nyina na yede koto baako no. And right now you be free. Until the next one never bano. Kwame sika bi ani ho. Until preparation
115 hospitals now.
Preparation
there. I think Kweku has only plan. I think Kweku has got a plan. Kweku, let's hear you.
Oh, that was just a question. I was just asking if is that not the reason why you're building 115 hospitals?
Debbie, it's 115 here, and then I promise I make he said.
Before why 115? I'll say 111. In fact, the government didn't promise 115.
Oh,
he's building.
And you know, Kwame, the only you say Sasikano, at least you bet media talk mosquito nets. They are fighting against malaria or Ghana rather than COVID, you know, because right now, no, me fan say numbers not near Babontin, you know, be still we have some doubts by intimate kind of say. Oh, and say they be free. Now next one, so try, you know. Omofa sika nambra unless sika no omotro no ba bibi say until say ye dey aduro be ba no munya musika back there then there is a question mark there minister na yes o ba bonti na obi yi ano unless
minister there waba or say Adina Jenison it was an emergency, weren't prepared. He was trying to prepare and cover and something, you know. But okay, now was it. What do you then I'll feel say to make sure the next one?
Okay. The German is in was a Banaway.
Omuguso.
Okay. But was it be or I was over once and I'm over two.
Moderna 2.
Moses be 2.
Moderna didn't.
Kwame, we will problem Ghana next doctors one. First one was the Ben was Wayne. Oh no, one. Second one was Bowen or Charlie or take 6 months and some was also a bow bill. Ness FA was a fan a penny you break. No, then a years would take some months, another 6 months was for Bowen. Kwame. One will walk on it. One will walk on it. One will be you. One will walk first one. One will be you. And he was about one and now why you be now.
No,
doctors won't go in.
Yeah, about fresh candidates.
Okay. Now, what's the bane for Obekeep and Drew was a good day. And Sunday that made the rubber bonkuyo yo. Now, spend it I can.
Right. I said, Minister Bet Commission Edruno. Eduna yen free no.
Obey no carpet. Obey no carpet. While both figures I can see. Was our man fine Edruno free, but was a village obeying his car transportation was our call because of load on your papa. Obey the new musika.
Police van the boss here.
Medas. One obey is going to obey his but Kwame here. I am some of the casa. I am a casa, but a mid-year woman. He must go now. Time of motor now is in our Ghana name.
We've got only 5 minutes. So UCC story.
Remember, UCC gave you from the man catchna final project as or yes, but or a caterer. Kwame, me born in Chinum. Mo born in Chinum, as someone catch him of paper and a pet was it to come. Kwame, Yani, ya Ghana, Yani,
only is van Charlie me fancy na basa. Only me diane no
only your fancy as you often as a talk keke, a ton or yellow, a ton or yellow, mo boy chin me bia. Also, Nana Sro. O diamental or put Nana Sro. All
right,
it's a man pie boy in there. In Dury, one phone walk, one will be dead. But what's going will be one while with a one. I'm sure obey a yellow.
Obey a yellow, yeah.
Young doctors, one's in boy.
Education for now, high Ghana. Hansen, quick one. Hanson, why you?
Why you? Obaya.
I'm say.
Me say, what's your comments?
And then Nana kind, you know, right now, no, men fan say, you know, men fan say, Drew now, Amode Bano. Okay, first one, they trial. Men fan say, paying for no worry. You know, I feel now I in crashing, you know, because first one, and Drew me, McCree and I say, what, they can be as a rule. And the second one, free one way now, Bano, or yes, almost starting free crown as also kaka. No money. It is a minister no call pre-ordered now in your mind, a bapena in groom accasiano. Omodia, and yes, idea. Dana baby drew the and yan Sitanashi. Because there's no way say Ghana a billion euro. And I drew no so crown a chat or a
okay,
former president. Your short memories.
For honesty, na. Why 2 minutes?
Yeah, Mediman was, you know, Meda a tearful in our say.
Me too. Why? A short one on the COVID vaccines. Way forward.
Oh, I'm a master to it. Thank you to Etiefo na participants in Narande. Never started very awful though. But I'm more problem war the actual vaccines are yin. Ghana, our reason Moderna or Pfizer was because of storage. One temperature, the core temperature to store those things, no.
Right.
So my big appeal, my huge appeal to the public service industry secretariat or ministry in Ghana is that the storage criteria for Moderna drugs has not changed. Right. Very low point storage. We beg, either distribute the vaccines as fast as you can, or put the procedures in place so we can store it. Because Damo vaccines, Nara, Moderna is still in trial phase. It has not been approved for anything other than emergency use. Therefore, right now, as we speak, we do not know the side effects of injecting into people, living people, vaccines that have been temperature abused. So I beg them, like from the bottom of my soul, I beg them, they should prioritize this.
Right.
Sikanaze, he has gotten us a refund. The Sputnik thing, we have to let it go. He has refunded us, and the rest of the money, he didn't see it went. We should let that rest.
Okay.
What we need right now is a plan for the next coronavirus, Ghana.
Yes. I think we should discuss that. I should plan for the next one. We should. I'm going to put it as a topic. Well, if I can't, as a producer, put that as one of the topics we're going to discuss next week. I think we should even start with that one.
Yeah, can I ask a question? My question is, when will we start?
Yeah, pause will be a question.
Mine is everybody. Next week, I'll hire a better Ochiame than Kwame, because today he didn't devour me at all.
The question is, when
will the question better be rhetorical?
Yes, rhetorical. Because, when will we start producing our own vaccines? When will our research facilities?
Hey, Kwaku, we are going to buy Sputnik. We are going to buy Sputnik. We couldn't even go.
There say yes, starting to say maybe 10 years time.
Well, that's a topic we will try and attack next week. But that's the way forward. So, what do you have to say about this? And
I mean, that's basically it. We should start doing research. So one day we'll be able to do that.
All right. And then therefore, on behalf of myself, Kweku, Hansen, Nana Jose, and
Kwame. Kwame, Matilda was no. Matilda was a father was see. Baby, I put me out. I'm a vaccine. And I'm a boy.
Yapon.
Okay, Kwaku bisa nyama ndofo. Maso bisa nyama ndofo meje na Ghana. Verification. I love you, eh.
Very good. Listen, enjoy a come on. This enjoy is for.
Oh, how sweet! And they'll come and say Ghanaian men are not romantic. Look at that.
Look at them. Ungrateful. All they do is ungrateful things. All right.
DJ, take us out, please. Fade us out.
And Rama. Shake it. Chromaya shit. Baby, I shit. Zikana lock it. Baby, I block it. So ya maya bemumo. Yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Go croko. Ya no me chadia chodeto. And Ramanda. Tuntun de da yese moto. Obrayo kun. They say miss your bitch alato. Chale no be lie. Bibia ya. Ubia ya wade. Laris adie. Chale no be lie. Bibia ya. Ubia ya wade. Chroma ya shit. Baby I shit. Sikana lock it. Baby I block it. So ya maya bemumo. Yeah then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Living a life on the street. Nobody care what we do. Nobody care what we go through. Nobody care what we do. Your brand motivational speakers. Won't try and find out. Your parent, you know, be SLY. Yes, I'm here. Someone say another. I'm not Betty Coco. When the man break up bed. Mulinke Mr. John, yes, see what when you paid us. Yeah, Chale, no be lie, shit, Bibia, yeah, shit, Ubia, yeah, shit, Laris, yeah, Chale, no be lie, shit, Bibia, yeah, shit, Ubia, yeah, shit, Chroma, shit, baby, I shit, Zikana lock it, baby, I block it, so ya my bemumo, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Chroma ya shit, baby I shit. Zikana lock it, baby I block it. So ya maya bemumo, yeah, then I befa. Befa, oh, befa. Yeah, then I befa. Befa.
Savage mix.